Warning: the following episode contains disturbing topics that may be unsuitable for children, or teenagers, or even adults. This series is pretty cringe.
Psych! Garbage day! Huh? No! No. Wait. Wait. Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Welcome, one and all, to Garbage Month, folks. We're here. All right. Normally, we cover peak. Okay, it's peak of fiction. We cover what's good. But a wise man once said, "You should watch more bad movies. And you should enjoy more bad media." Okay, I'm not gonna say who said that, but someone in this podcast did relay this to the group. So we're here. We're here to participate in this little exercise. I thought January was fitting because January is the month where I'd say a lot of movie studios push their trash onto the streaming and theater platforms. So what better month in the cold, dark winter nights than to see some of the worst media that is available. So we're going to be running some bad stories all month. And today, to kick off Garbage Month, we're going to do a webtoon that is stuck in my head for many years now. And that is #Killstagram. Now, #Killstagram is a fairly popular webtoon on the Webtoon platform. It has 45 million views. It has 1 million follows. If you go on different websites like Reddit, you'll see people that are like, wow, it'll be like, wow, what's your favorite thriller? And people talk kind of pretty highly about this, and that always stuck to my craw because he is quite poor. Okay, this webtoon is quite poor in both craft, in the story. The art is very amateurish, and it has some of the most insane plot twists you will ever conceive. And for many years, this has been in my brain, and despite its bad quality, right? I think Gray posed to me, and he said, "Why did you read this? Out of everything on this platform, why did you read this?" And I said, I didn't tell him, but the reason why I read it was, despite how bad Killstagram is, I couldn't put it down. It compelled me. I just had to know, right? I knew it was bad very early on, but I just had to keep reading. I had to keep seeing how bad it could be. And for that, I applaud Killstagram. For me, what qualifies as a so bad it's good product or piece of media is interesting. Okay, is flawed, but it keeps your attention, right? The worst thing somebody can be is boring. If something's boring, you forget about it. If something's boring, you can't even sit through it. But if something's very flawed, very interesting, well, that keeps you going. So, without further ado, in order to partake in this psychic damage carousel, I have brought some of my best co-hosts here. Introducing, let's start with Gray the Samurai.
I'm still I'm still rattled. But here we go, kids. Let's give it a ride.
Right, Supa O.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Thank you for coming around as we go through the trash can. What a pick.
And, Beto. Showing
Hola,
up.
¿cómo estás? Bad stuff. We watch bad stuff.
Watch bad stuff. Also, I think this is one of the very first episodes we'll do a content warning. Because
Yeah.
okay, all right. Well, what's a content warning for? Okay, for let's say stalking, for lots of suicide. Lots of suicide. For transphobia, surprisingly coming in with a steel chair in the last act. You know, self-harm.
So pretty intense. Yeah, self-harm. Pretty intense scenes of violence.
You know, yeah, violence against women. Yeah, that's all.
Wild.
That's all included in this nice little package called Killstagram.
Like every page is like, this may be upsetting for young reader, maybe upsetting for some audiences. Very disturbing content.
So
it's like, yeah, no, you're not wrong, buddy.
If you have not read Killstagram, I do not recommend. Well, I'm sorry, I don't recommend it. At the same time, it has to be seen to believe, to be believed. So I wouldn't hate it. Okay, I wouldn't hate it if you went off and read Killstagram, but it's not good. It's not good. And I will go through the plot. You know, my buddies will jump in, you know, as we talk about it. But to start this amazing webtoon, it begins with a Remy Do, right? Remy Do is a South Korean influencer. Okay, she has it all. Okay, she has like 1 million followers. She has so many likes. Everyone loves her. She has brand sponsorships. She can like get food for free. Everything's going great for her. Okay. But in spite of, you know, all this, she has one friend. She has one close friend named Gia that like sticks by her. But you know, there's some tension there because, you know, unfortunately Remy Do is always on that dang cell phone. It's always on that dang cell phone, and she is like, you need to stop posting. You shouldn't post your personal details, Remy. I hear there's some sort of social media serial killer on the loose.
She said a ghost, not a serial killer. It's a ghost.
Ghost. But yeah, there's somebody, and you know, the social media influencers going missing. Dun, 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 dun. What could happen? And Remy's like, I don't believe that fake garbage. I'm gonna keep posting if I want to post. And you know, Remy's kind of rude and arrogant in this first chapter, a quality which disappears immediately. It's never seen again after the first chapter. It's very weird. Like that would be a fun character beat, but no, she's actually the nicest girl. She's the smallest bean that you've ever seen. So Remy is like, you know, whatever, they have an argument and they have a blow up, right? And they're like, well, I'll never talk to you again, right? And she is like, oh, whatever. They go their ways. And Gia, what do you know? She's been hunted by the social media serial killer. You know it's bad. You see is their lair, and you know it's full of like bodies and plastic bags, and you're like, oh, there's, you know, bad news. And Gia gets got. She gets slammed in the head with a hammer, presumably dead, and the killer has Gia's cell phone, right? And you know Remy is trying to make up to Gia, and Remy's like, oh, you know what, Gia, let's go have some chicken. You know, I brought some fried chicken. I brought some this. We're going to hang out. You know, but doesn't really want to apologize. Right. And then Gia's like, oh, you know, hey, I'll come over there. What's your address? Remy's like, my address? You should already know where I live. Right. Now, I want you to keep this. Remember this plot line about the address. Okay. This will come up later when reveals happen. But we have to go with the assumption that the killer does not know Remy's address already. Remember this. This is important. So she texts the address anyways, and you know, things are progressing. Then suddenly, right, you know, there's like a knock on the door, and then a hand comes out and grabs Remy's leg and starts like yanking her and trying to pull her through or whatever. And he's like, I'm gonna get you. Right. And Remy calls the police, and the police are relatively ineffective. This is a trend that will continue
for the pretty much the whole series.
Series. Now, I want to get this out of the way, right? before we continue further. And I understand South Korea is not America. I understand this. I know the social dynamics are different. I've heard a lot that the police are famously ineffective and misogynist, right? And there is a lot of issues in the South Korean culture.
Really
yes.
now?
If you'd like to know more about why South Korea is so messed up and misogynist, I will link a video from the Moon channel about the South Korean gender wars. And they got problems. They had issues. But, just keep that in mind. So Remy is she calls the police, but the police are there. And they're not there to get help, Remy. They're there because Gia's gone missing. And she's like, oh no, where's Gia? Where's my friend? And despite Remy having a good lead because the killer was texting her with Gia's phone, the police don't care. I don't even know why they show up because they don't care.
They keep yelling at her every time she calls them.
Yeah.
Every time it's like, why are you bothering me?
Why are you bothering me? I hate you. Kill yourself, etc.
Yeah, this is a trend.
To this
do see
victim,
a
which is
lot.
crazy. Yikes.
This I will say, as crazy as the police are, this is a trend I do see in a couple other webtoons, especially when it comes to like stuff like this and the crimes we committed, where it's just like the police just doesn't seem to care, and like you said, mentioned earlier, Bates, that might just be how it is in South Korea.
That just might how it is. Yeah.
But it still doesn't make it any less ridiculous. But that's probably where the author's probably pulling from.
So Remy is going about her life, and she's still trying to figure out what to do next, how she's going to cope without Gia. And I believe this is around where we get our first stalker. No, second stalker.
First. No, it's the first.
This is the first guy that we see.
First one we see.
The first guy that we see. First guy we see. Yep. That checks out.
And it's the first mutant we see in the series. Mutant, yeah. Remy is stalked independently by different people, and I think a couple of them I would call mutants. They're supposed to be not good looking people, but they're drawn like they're not human. Okay,
and they behave.
Their physical
capabilities.
Okay. They're very tall, lanky. They have gray skin and like black eyes. But we're told, we're told they're just normal people. But I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, their capabilities are beyond what most humans should be able to do.
So Remy is stalked and hunted by this individual who I guess wants to be with her, one of her social media stalkers, and there's a absolutely insane chasing throughout the city. They end up in like a clinic. I think Remy goes to her job, and then she tries to escape, like in the doctor's office. And at some point, the stalker has her like strapped down to a table and is gonna threaten to cut her up. But she's able to fight back. And she gets away. And specifically, I believe she is able to get away because she gets assistance from another important character, Doha. Doha Kim, who is a convenience store manager,
Worker?
employee.
No, he seems like
just works
like
there.
Yeah,
works at the cash register.
Yeah, he's
a
He's an
cashier.
important character. So Doha Kim is able to swoop in and help save Remy from this threat. And Remy goes to the police officers and they're like, this man literally kidnapped me and strapped me down to him. And all the other stuff. And the police officer is like, yeah, but you're a woman. And you have a social media.
That-
Why you be on the phone so much, girl?
Yeah, no, that whole thing was just like
That
wild.
scene
It's
was
still
crazy,
your
bro.
fault.
He was like,
It-
"There's no laws against stalking. Like, it's a
Yeah,
misdemeanor." Like, all
yeah,
right.
and like somehow the cops like shift the blame onto Remy too, which is like
Yeah.
it like and like even in a case, because I think one of the things they said is like, oh, you say that he did all these things, but there's no footage. But it's just like she gets completely dismissed when when she has like the stalker's hair like literally in her hand, or maybe it was like the other way around when he was trying to grab her, and like all the evidence is like there, and it's like there's enough here to at least open an investigation.
Because I think the
Again,
stalkers.
this might just be. No, I was gonna say, like again, this might just be like, how it is, but like this is like absurdly like, like bad, bad police work.
And so stalker's parents come in, and they try to. And here's the thing. Here's the thing where I really say this kid's a freak. I think they try to draw the stalker's parents kind of like the stalker, right? That they have like similar lips and like cheek structure, and ears. But the main difference is the stalker does not look like any form of a human being. He really doesn't. And I think one of the themes that this webtoon tries to play with is about Korean beauty standards, right? And how they're so unrealistic and they harm people, right? And they harm especially women.
Mhm.
But there's a trend where a lot of the antagonistic forces are physically deformed and ugly. And I think somebody
We'll get to it. We'll get to
somebody messed up
But you're
somewhere.
right.
But anyways, and they're like, you have to apologize right now or else, right? We hate you. And then Remy's boss comes in and it's like, Remy, you also
part
have
is
to apologize.
crazy.
I hate you. But then Doha shows up and says, I got you in 4K. I have you in 4K doing the crimes. And you're like, oh, shucks.
Mhm.
And then they apologize and whatever. And Remy's like, this Doha guy is pretty cool. I like him. He's cool and he's tall and handsome. Keep them. He's very handsome. He's managed to be very handsome. Just keep that also in your noggin for later. So Doha and Remy start to hang out a little bit, but Remy's kind of suspicious because Doha is a little sus, right? Usually, whenever Doha.
Oh, before you continue, I have to say something about what happened before Doha's appearance in that argument space because it's important to the story, right? So the doctor has a reputation that the detective calls out. He said, "Weren't you that doctor got cited for that malpractice like 3 years ago?" He's like, "And you supposed to install a camera in your office? The camera was fake." And Remy Doe thinks that the camera was real because she's just like, "Hey, like there was a camera that proved that this whole thing that went down. I have proof that I'm innocent." And he was like, "They're like, yo, that camera wasn't even real." So like everyone's just like ticked off, and so because of that, he was a little bit like, "Listen, man, I don't want nobody bringing no extra attention to me. Remy, you better apologize for upsetting these nice people." He was like, "Why should I apologize?" And then he pimp slaps her.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I think, and this that's what I wanted to highlight is that the doctor is someone that she trusts a lot. She even refers to him as being like a father figure to her. And in response, he turned super cold on her and says, "If you won't just do what I say, then you gonna get treated like I am your pimp." And then proceeds to backhand her across the face to the floor. So now she's in a space with the parents of the stalker, a stalker who is very badly injured, a detective who seemingly could not care less, and then a doctor who was basically her boss, but like he has no respect for her. Like she is completely discardable to him, and she's in the middle of this like, yo, like, I just got attacked. Like everyone
one's
hates me.
helping.
Like what's happening right now? No one is helping, and no one seems to have any emotional empathy for what I have going on. They're all kind of putting up a giant middle finger in my face, basically, and that is when Doha shows up, and then proceeds to show savior tier behaviors, which is interesting in context. I really wanted to highlight that
I appreciate
slap
it.
and that connection with the doctor, because that stuff is important to like connect to. Like she feels like she has no allies throughout the story. This is one of the first instances we see it. We're just like, dang, like why does everybody hate this girl? What'd she do?
Right. That's
know.
actually one I
Everybody
want
hates
to
her.
build off that point, because we're gonna get into Remy's backstory. Why does everyone hate Remy? Remy is in this weird
I have some thoughts,
paradoxal space, right? Where Remy is simultaneously loved and adored by everyone, but also hated and despised by people.
Says a lot about society.
You're right, does love society. I guess part of it is because she's an orphan, and I don't know, maybe being an orphan in South Korea is really bad. But it's weird. It's very strange to be like to yell at a 21-year-old woman that you're an orphan. That's like sure, man.
Yeah, I think there's some social stigmas for sure. But I also think it's a combination of people. It's just an unfortunate combination of her finding herself around people that just have a strong desire to be right. Like I think the stalker's parents just wanted to feel vindicated in that their son is innocent. And the detective didn't want to do any real work. He wanted to blame and say, case closed. She was excessive in her self-defense. And the doctor wanted to not have to be looked into for the malpractice situation that took place a few years ago. So like it's just a bunch of people that didn't want, they were trying to protect themselves and protect their reputations and protect their workload. And she was like, in this particular scene, she found herself in just the crossfire of it. I think like there's parts early in the chapters too of her being like outside and people like, is that Remito? And like there's definitely like a pretty sharp juxtaposition of people that love her and people that absolutely hate her. I think that's very normal. Like if you look on social media, that's kind of common. People have very strong opinions about celebrities. Like, I hate this celebrity. How dare she have a boyfriend? And she's so cute with her boyfriend. Like there's just like such sharp opposing views. And I think what they tried to do in this webtoon is take some of those strong views and make it like this is how people view this individual in real life, how they talk to them in the real world, which is interesting.
It is, as we'll get into this backstory, I think one of my main contentions with this webtoon is Remy's quote unquote like her social power level is very inconsistent, and we get into the Remy backstory, and this is another example of like excessive tragedy milking. The tragedy in this backstory is so insane that it almost gets comical. And there's a backstory even later on that's even more insane. But this is like everyone hates Remy, right? Everyone is making fun of Remy because she's an orphan and she's too pretty and she's too lovable, and she is just the smallest bean in the world, and everyone's picking on Remy. the smallest bean, right? Everyone's picking on Remy, and she's getting bullied by these people, right? And then the gym teacher is actually pretty chill. The gym teacher's like, "Hey, you know what? I got your back, Remy. Okay, you can think of me like your dad here. All right,
This is
I
where
got
things
you.
get predictable.
But
crazy.
but then you find out that's actually
your pops,
that's
bro.
actually the bullies and the gym teacher are in
Shoot,
some
bro.
sort of like sexual assault gang together. They're colluding.
Oh goodness.
This is
Should not
this
laugh,
is like
bro.
it's
This is
insane.
So dark.
It's really dark. It is. It's very dark, but also comical. Where
Comical.
where she's running away from the bullies, and the gym teacher shows up, and the gym teacher's like, "Oh yeah, it's a Sultan time." So
dapping up the other
yeah,
bullies.
yeah, basically dapping up all the bullies. It's like all according to the Keikaku.
It's my turn. It was like, ugh, you know, as a grown man.
all according to the plan. But thankfully, Gia shows up.
Very uncomfortable.
Gia shows up and says, "Haha, you know, you thought this was your chance, but I was recording you in 4K the entire time, and I've already called the police." You're like, "What?" Right? And the crazy part is Gia's like, "Yeah, I overheard your plan," and it's like, if you knew. What do you mean? What do you mean you overheard the plan weeks ago? When
she was plotting against the
how did
plotters,
you
bro.
like what if it happened on a different day? What
Yeah.
then, Gia?
She was there every day.
Just
Yeah.
every day, yeah. She was there every day.
Even the gym.
She's just chilling.
Yeah, the gym teacher
room.
was like, "Guys, okay, I guess we have to fast track the assault plan and just do it right now."
Like what? Were they also like, yes, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be on January 13th at 3 p.m.
So
That's when we will assault Remy.
do not be late.
So
We all will be here. Everyone involved in this plan will be there.
Good thing no one can overhear us
Right.
planning this
So
out.
thankfully Gia's there.
Sick
And
work,
and
bro.
Gia also, she's planned it so well that there's an entire like squad of police officers right behind that kick down the door immediately and arrest everyone. But that's how Korea be. And in spite of all this, everyone's like, there's a changing the narrative. People are starting to hate on Remy and say,
Start
"Oh, well,
victim blaming.
yeah, victim blaming. No, she wanted it, right?" And Remy gets
Which is crazy, but
Yeah,
I've heard things
yeah,
like that
it's-
before.
yeah.
Which is why
that's
I'm like,
plausible.
this is
Yeah.
cringe, but this is also awkwardly realistic.
And then
in
it
that
gets so
sense of
bad that
relevance.
Remy's like, I'm gonna kill myself. Now, this is the first time, it'll not be the last you see someone attempt to hang themselves in this webtoon.
Yeah.
It happens more times than you think.
The amount of times someone's tried to commit suicide.
More times than I'd
More
like to
times
see.
than you'd like to see.
Actually.
Um,
Way more times.
But
Who was
Gia
that,
helps
like,
her
LeBron
down
and
and is like, "Hey, I know what's going to change people's mind. We're gonna post a video in social media." And I guess they make one call out post, and the call out post is so powerful. And it's not even a good. It's not even a good call out post. Okay, it's not even a good call out post. It's just like, my friend's real sad. Okay, this happened to my friend, and she's real sad about it. And all people are like, damn, it is messed up, I guess. And
Hey, just hit the right
you
algorithm.
hit the right algorithm. Remy gains a bunch of followers. It causes the other people to get arrested, the whole gang to get arrested and packed up, and Remy becomes a social media sensation overnight. And this is like one of the things. This is one of like my main questions with it is, Remy has so much social media clout. Okay, she has so much social media clout and social media power that one of the bullies messages her, right, and says, "Oh, I hate you, right? You better take that down, or I'm gonna get you." And she screenshots the message, uploads it to Instagram, calls them out, and immediately they all like are in the streets bowing before her. That's how much clout she has. Okay, as a social
Yeah,
media
it's next level,
influencer.
bro.
And she never uses this again. It's like non-existent. And you know, one of my other questions I have is why does she work a job?
Well,
No.
What like
oh yeah, at the clinic. I think it's just she does it purely out of because she has that, what's the word, respect towards her father figure being the
director?
the
Okay.
head doctor.
I got questions.
Yeah, so she just
Yeah.
feels indebted to him.
He influences to do a lot of nonsensical
Yeah,
things.
but
Yeah.
for the amount of
which are ridiculous.
the amount of clout that she has, right? If she was that threatened, like how come she couldn't just like blast a stalker guy on social media?
Because stalker guy was in her house.
Yeah.
Like
True.
on her body.
True.
Like hand through the dog entry. Just like
Not
give me
that, no,
like,
not
she
that
couldn't be like,
stalker guy,
"Oh,
the first
no."
stalker guy.
Yeah,
Is-
no, the first stalker
Isn't
guy.
that the,
Yeah, he put his hand
No,
through the dog
that's a
entry
different
point.
stalker guy.
I thought that was the same
No.
one. I thought that was Tay.
No. You have to understand, she's being stalked independently by at least 3 people.
Okay, are we talking about the first stalker guy that we see that we don't know
Yes.
until like the third arc of the storyline?
Yeah, that's a different. Okay,
That's what you're
that
referring to right
person.
now.
Yeah, that stalker guy is the one who reached his hand for the door. The other Tay is an entirely different stalker.
There's so many stalkers, yo.
Yeah, they're
This is like it's a stalker marathon.
Between
This is
stalker
a
A,
crazy
stalker
storyline,
B.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, just start losing track of which one, who's stalking who. Stalker, stalker, stalker.
All right, so
stalker, 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 stalker. He's like, what's going on? Stalkerception.
so we return to present day, and you know she's like, oh man, Gia was the best. She was so cool. Too bad she's gone now. And Doha is there, and she's like, I really like this Doha fellow, but you know he does act kind of sus from time to time. Now, during this, back and forth, she gets, I think, her home broken into by a clown.
Yeah, somebody in a clown mask.
And clown mask shows up and tries to kill her with a hammer. And
could I just
jump in, buddy. You got it.
So but before you get into that, during her like talk with like what's his name, Doha, she gets a call from like the detective. And the detective pretty much is like, oh yeah, you know, we were looking at the guy and turns out he's not the stalker serial killer.
Oh yeah.
So we let him go. What do you mean you let him go? What do you mean you let we literally okay, let's say he wasn't the stalker killer, right? We literally saw him climb buildings, break windows, try to abduct her, threaten her.
It's crazy, bro.
Harm her. Like even if he wasn't the serial killer, he still actually committed those crimes.
Dangerous, bro.
Yeah,
He's dangerous, bro.
This is a dangerous person.
Like,
he's a dangerous person. You put him out on the streets again.
Keeping the streets dangerous, I say. Keeping the streets.
Like,
what are we doing?
The most incompetent.
I'm gonna bring this up
this
because I think it
world.
happens around here, and it does not come up again. Because you're right. When after this, and she's like freaked out. She's like, "Oh man, he could be anywhere, right?" She gets to her house and there's a box delivered to her door, and she opens it up.
Yeah, bro, it's weird.
She opens the box up,
Weird.
and she sees like the dead guy of the stalker in it. He's like, but that's a fake out. It didn't happen. Yeah, that was bait. That was just clickbait, basically, to get you to keep reading. It's a box of kimchi. Now, they never explain the box. This doesn't come up again. Who sent it? Why? When?
I would guess, but
Yeah, but like I don't know. Did the main villain do that for fun?
Yeah, just to get to her.
Just for the love of the game.
The main villain
Just
is
for the
kinda
love of the game,
crazy,
just
bro.
spooked.
It's actually very possible that he
Yeah.
did it for fun.
So anyway, she's getting attacked by a clown now. And she's able to fight off the clown, right? Somehow. She tries to stab him, but he has a stab-proof vest. So then she stabs him in the foot, and it's very important. Like, you know, she knows the clown has an injured foot, and the clown's chasing her all throughout the house, but she manages to escape. Then later on, Doha appears to have an injured foot, right? And she's like, "Oh, Doha, I knew it was too good to be true. You must be the killer." And he's like, "No, I'm not." And then, so at some point, Doha is like trying to break into Remy's house with like a brick, right?
Yeah.
And this is the most.
I'm gonna break this door lock.
I'm gonna say this is like when we get to the final reveal. This is the most like insane like triple layered scene. But anyways, Doha is trying to break into the house, and you know Remy's like,
yeah,
"Oh no, Doha's trying to get at me," right? But then
he was like
a
Death Note.
second
Grab a potato chip and eat it.
a second stalker appears, right? This one is a mutant. Another mutant shows up. And he is tall, gangly, face full of spores, He looks like a zombie. Completely gray, ashen skin, bald. Like, he does not look like a human being at all. Anyways, he shows up from underneath her bed with like a bouquet of like roses.
Yeah, blue
roses. And he's like, "Oh, I love you, Remy." And then, you know, Remy tries to get away. And no matter what she does, this guy is on her, right? She's trying to fight back. She manages to like jump through electrical wiring to get away, but then like he still manages to come at her. Doha gets involved, and he's trying to protect her from this like new stalker. Also very important. At some point, she tries to get away from him, right? And she is one under. I'm gonna have to go back to this. When she's fighting the clown, right? I think she damaged the clown's ear, and this guy also has a damaged ear. So they're going back and forth, and she's trapped in a room at some point. She locked him away, and then he gets a chainsaw, and is like,
it's a construction site. So they just have like
gets a chainsaw, is cutting down the door and coming at her, right? And Doha shows up to fight him. They're both going back and forth, and at some point Doha like jumps off the building with him, right? Doha's injured, but they survive. The other guy is like banged up, and he gets I believe he gets arrested, right? And you know, they're like, "Okay, we got him. We got the killer. We figure it out." In fact, they even go into his house and they find Gia's like bloody clothes, right, and a hammer, and they're like, "Okay, we got him for real, right?"
Bingo.
And like he's locked up, and he's acting all creepy. He's like, I'm gonna get to Gia. I'm gonna get to Gia. You know, I don't care. I'll kill him. I'll kill the other guy. I'm gonna get to Gia. Not Gia. I'm gonna get to Remy. Right. So I'm gonna get to Remy. I'll kill the other guy, no matter what. I'm gonna get Remy. So from here, right? Remy's like, "Whew, you know, that was really terrible. But Doha saved me once again. I'll never doubt you, Doha." And you know, they're hanging out. They're doing more domestic stuff. There's like a little bit of romance brewing. And Doha's like, "All right, you know, we can go to this place out in the country. we can have like, picnic, we can do this and that, and I can, take you to meet my family or where my family was. So, 'cause most of my family passed away, and Doha is to go with him, and things are looking up. And meanwhile, the stalker is like breaks out of his handcuffs and knocks out the security guard,
Knocks out the
and
security,
escapes.
bro. This guy's no joke.
Right? And they go on this trip. Remy goes on a trip with Doha, not knowing that this creepy stalker man is coming for him. Remy goes on Instagram Live and it's like, I met a boy.
Oh, can we pause for a quick second? I have to explain something. This is so interesting. Before she gets on live, before that happens, Doha tells her, hey, check this out. This social media thing that you do is dangerous. You're giving too much information about your personal life on social media. Here's an idea. What if you don't post anything? Because you don't post anything, you're going to put yourself in less danger. Now, this is noteworthy. This is noteworthy because she's been told this before from multiple characters throughout the story. Gia told her, the detective told her, and now her almost boyfriend is telling her, maybe you should stop posting because you are giving dangerous people too much personal information about where you are, and it's putting you at risk. And while alone, without anyone nearby, she makes an independent decision to not just post about where she is or where she was earlier, but to live stream what she is doing and where she is on social media.
After getting stalked by two serial stalkers, by the way.
Possibly three, right?
Possibly
you got
three.
the creepy dude with the parents, the clown, and then the blue rose guy.
Yeah.
Three people so far. And she's still just like, my followers miss me.
What's good, Instagram? It's your girl, Remy.
I'm at this location.
Bro, I'm not lying, bro. When I read that she was gonna live stream, like, what makes it even worse is, so I don't believe you mentioned this, but the night before she agrees to do this, before he leaves, before what's the guy's name again? Doha. Before Doha leaves, she's drunk. She's turned up.
Yeah.
She had way too much to drink. She lit. She's in bed and she's like typing. She's like, let me check out my social media again. I've been on there in a little bit. Oh, like, here's where I was. Here's our train tickets to the picnic location.
Bro, she posted tickets.
We're hanging out.
Oh, she did. She did.
Here's this. Here's that.
She literally doxed herself.
My vacation trip, my boo. I'm so in love. He's such a sweet guy. And then her, you should confess. You should tell him how you feel. She's like, should I? Oh my gosh, I should confess. And I'm just like, bro, this is the most, like, it's almost like, despite the level of tragedy that she's experienced up to this point in the story, it still has not dawned on her the level of danger that she is in by posting. It's almost like trying to put a cotton ball through a brick wall. Like, it just keeps bouncing off. Like, the logic keeps bouncing off. It's not clicking that this is not a good idea. So she just keeps doing it. But I've never seen her live stream, I don't think, at this point in the story. This is the first time that she's actually decided to stream where she is in real time for her followers. And she's doing it alone.
Yeah.
Alone. Gia is gone. She is by herself. Okay. I had to explain that. It's important for context.
All right, so Remy can't help that her IQ can't get past the clock numbers. You know what I mean?
Truly. Okay. Also during this, Doha mentions that he had a sister that died. Named Doyan, and it's very tragic. But she passed away, and so Remy is like going for like. Also, I'll say when there's a couple panels, especially like when the moment she's drunk and whatever, and it has some of like the worst art I've seen. This artist does not know what foreshortening is.
I think the artist was drunk. I'm just kidding.
Okay, there's just one panel where she's like on her back and she has her like legs and feet, not legs and feet. She's her legs and arms raised, and it has some of the worst foreshortening I've ever seen. Where like the foot is like the person cannot really draw feet or hands that well. I understand these things are difficult, but it's extremely amateurish. It's extremely amateurish. And like we will we'll post this right here so you can see it in all its glory. It's
bad, bro.
it's something. It sure is something.
Bad.
Now I gotta reread this book just to edit that post. Dang.
So at this point, Remy is like living her life, living her best life, but oh no, the stalker has returned and is stalking her.
Dun,
Right.
dun, dun.
But then you get a hint, and wait a second, the stalker is here, but there's also the true killer is showing up, right? The true killer is making an appearance, and you see the true killer's base, right? You're like, oh, what's going on? Who could it be? What's happening? So the stalker tries and fails to get to Remy, and I think she ends up coincidentally by pure chance, by running away from the other stalker, she ends up at the serial killer's base. And the serial killer, because it just happened, which is very funny. Because you would think this was part of the killer's plan. It was not. This happened completely independently. That she went into the serial killer's home base that was unlocked and saw all the bodies. And it was like, and then you get the big reveal. Actually, the killer was not the stalker, the freakish mutant stalker. It was Doha the whole time.
You'd figure that
Now-
out like 20 chapters back.
And Doha is like, what's the worst thing you've ever done, Remy? Do you remember? Do you remember what you did? Remy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, it's all this. You ruined my life. You ruined my family, Remy. He's like, And then she's like, remember Doyon? Right? Remember that lady with they got the plastic surgery, the malpractice? She's like, and you get the flashback, okay? And you get the backstory of Doha.
Can I
Yeah.
pause it for a moment? We have to give context to the stalker's true intentions.
Oh yes. Actually, we do have the good context.
We absolutely must.
Okay.
We
All right. You have to
absolutely
understand. You
must
understand.
Give context.
Okay. So the stalker,
I'd go
Right?
for that.
you might think that the stalker was stalking maliciously, but he was stalking altruistically. Okay, because everyone picked on him because he was a freakish mutant. And because he was a 7 foot tall bald man with gray skin and open sores all over his body. Everyone picked on him, but in spite of that, Remy reached out her hand and was like, "Are you all right?" And he was like, so he immediately formed a parasocial relationship and was like, Remy is the greatest, and he stalked her.
Yeah.
Not to do anything weird, okay? But he was like, I was gonna watch you over here. I'm gonna watch you from a distance. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manly is the morally correct.
Yes, the morally correct. Okay.
He is the most. He is one of the most. This is crazy to say it. He's one of the most benevolent
Yeah.
characters in the story, despite how twisted he seems. 5 chapters ago, this revisionist history,
and everyone, and he's like, it's great. I know he's supposed to be a little nutty, but he's like, I knew you wouldn't believe me. No one believes me. It's like, my brother in Christ.
You look like this.
You are running around. You are running around the city,
dangerously, bro.
breaking into places, and you're like, "Oh no, no one believes me." And instead of talking, you mostly like mutter and roar at people.
Yeah. I know smart.
So
I'll just do my thing.
I know smart. So he finds out when he's stalking Remy,
Crazy.
right? And he's taking pictures of her. He's going for the pictures. Like, wait a second. Doha was there, right? So in stalking Remy, he figures out Doha is also stalking Remy. And Doha is stalking Remy maliciously. With malicious intent. And at some point, like, Doha's like a knife to Remy, right? And he interrupts that. Which this will come up later. It'll come up now. If Doha was the main killer
right now,
right? And he was going to, like, I don't know, kill Remy in the street at some point, given the fact that he had that knife. But why go through all the rigmarole? He goes through so much rigmarole. When
they explain it,
I get it,
and I'll justify his actions. I don't love the way that they justify it,
but he could have done this much earlier, and at different times, especially because he was a clown. He was a clown, so he explicitly tried to kill her when they were alone together. Then he was like, then as Doha, he had complete access to her, right, unguarded, for a while, and he did nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing. And it'd be one thing if Doha's plan was like, yes, I'll make Remy fall in love with me, then I'll take her. That wasn't his plan. that was not the plan. That happened coincidentally. That was not his intention. I don't. Oh, this is one of those things where,
okay, keep going through the synopsis, because I actually think that
I believe the story is lying. This is a.
Oh, you believe the story?
Yeah, this was retroactive.
Revisionist history.
Yeah, it's revising things where the story shows you something as an objective truth, and then goes, "Oh no, so that was something different." So poor, all of a sudden, the stalker man, who up in this point has been, I'm gonna say, extraordinarily strong and powerful and capable, is now kind of like weak and simpering. And you find out that when he was trying to stop Doha from killing Remy, Doha was completely just bullying this man. Single-handedly beating this man and torturing him in the street. And I don't see it. When they were fighting on the roof, they seemed either evenly matched or even like he was stronger. And now in this revisionist history, he's like, he has him on his knees with like one hand on the back of his head, and he's like beating him, bashing him, and like cutting off his ear,
crazy,
and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm like, sure, man, sure. Doha was Doha all along. And poor stalker man, he just wanted to communicate to Remy. Okay, the reason he was in your room underneath her bed was because Doha lied to him and said that Remy was dead inside the room, so he was looking for Remy's body, right? But then he went to hide and he hid on their bed, so it was completely coincidental, right?
It was a mistake.
And all the other times when he was chasing Remy around, he just wanted to talk to her, and he just wanted to protect her. Okay, and even when Remy locked him in the room and he came at her for chainsaw, that's just because he just wanted to make sure she was safe. Okay, you have to understand, he did this with good intentions.
Did this out of love.
Out of love.
Okay, so my thing with him is
shoot for it, Super. Shoot for it.
So this bum ass. So
no
he had
drip happened.
No. No, keep going because like he had like this guy had like picture evidence and proof that Remy was getting stalked by Doha, and never not once brought it to the police.
Or Remy.
Like let's say Remy or Remy.
He could have
But let's say Remy,
like DM'd her on Instagram.
DM her, he could have told her, but let's say that he's right? Let's say he's right, and like if he went to Remy and be like, "Hey, Doha trying to kill you," and she's like, "I don't believe you. You're ugly. You're chopped." Right? The cops are right there. The cops are, and you have the evidence, and like.
I think the cops would have also been curious though, like, how do you have these photographs?
True. Hey, I mean, if he's that diehard about his star, I just
and like I don't want to like I don't want like power scale here. I don't want power scale here, but how did Doha manage to beat this man up this whole time?
Okay, I have an explanation. I have an explanation for that. Actually, I do have an
explanation. Working him.
I do.
He's just working him so badly.
So there's a part of the flashback which I think is slightly later in the story where we see Doha interacting with him. And in those moments of interaction, Doha is dominant over this man, which leads me to believe that Doha is acting slightly weaker than him during a lot of these interactions to seem like he is just barely holding on to protect Remy. And it's a ploy of like, I'm your knight in shining armor and I'm really putting myself on the line here to keep you safe. When in reality, he doesn't have to put himself on the line at all. He could easily dominate.
You see,
he's dominated.
There's one more thing we have not gotten to in Doha's backstory that puts a lot of this into question.
Get to, yes.
So let's get into the Doha backstory.
Okay.
Where we find out more about Do-yeon, right? It's supposed sister. And Do-yeon was chopped. Okay, let's face it, she was chopped.
This is a wild thing to say in context, bro.
And you know what?
She's chopped.
She tried. She tried.
Let me stop.
Everyone made fun of her because she was chopped, and she got plastic surgery to fix it. I think 2 plastic surgeries to fix it. She already had one.
Yeah.
Then she went back for another one.
One was botched.
Right?
Yeah.
And during her
her
surgery, I guess the doctor was like, "Wow, she's so chopped. Ho 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 ho. Man, isn't she chopped, Remy? Also, Remy, I'm gonna sexually harass you." Right? And
Yep.
and after the surgery, and there's a crash sound. I don't know what the crash signifies, right? I don't know. I guess what
the instruments fell in her face.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I know that what it's supposed to be. I know the crash is supposed to mean that like they messed up like the surgery, right? But
yeah, the doctor accidentally. I think Remy actually like slips and falls and like pushes the.
Yeah,
thing.
But here's my But I know that's true. But here's my question: Is Remy slips and falls backwards, okay, away from the patient? So how did that interfere with the patient's surgery? If there was a crash, maybe, and I believe this is supposed to mean that the patient's mistaken, right? But there's like it didn't affect. I don't believe it affected the surgery. I think it was a completely independent thing. Anyways, she gets the surgery, and I guess her face is still messed up, and she doesn't even give time for her face to heal, which is very important if you've gotten plastic surgery, right? And she's mad about it. And she gets and she actually had a secret recording, and she hears the doctor making fun of her and Remy getting sexually harassed, and it's like, I know this is Remy's fault somehow.
I'm gonna make
and you don't understand, Remy. you don't understand. The doctors were calling me ugly, and you were in the room when it happened.
I think she blames. Part of the blame is that Remy was advertising the place, And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, if Remy advertised it, it's this. So anyways, her surgery does not work out the way it wants. She's even more chopped. And she goes back to the place. It's like, I'm gonna, you better do this or that, or I'm gonna expose you. And Remy's like, lady, please, can you please let your surgery like heal first? Can you go through the steps? Can you do the basic things? She's like, no, this is your fault. Where's the doctor at? He's like, he's not even here. And then she gets really mad and she slaps Remy. Right? And then Remy, then she does a big expose video. And it's like, this doctor did a malpractice on me. And then Remy comes over her own video where she's like, this lady is crazy and she hit me when she came here, right? And because Remy's clout, right, the social media turns against her. And everyone's like, Doyeon, you're ugly. You have no friends. Blah, 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 blah. We all hate you. Kill yourself. You should kill yourself now. Your life is as worthless as a summer ant. Basically, I think a lot of the last part of Killstagram was just the low tier god. You should kill yourself now speech. But it gets even worse. Okay, this is where the misery compounds upon itself to such an insane degree, because Doyeon, right, is bullied out of school. Right, everything's bad for her. Right, then somehow that trickles down to her sister getting bullied. Right, her sister gets bullied. And she gets bullied out of school. And her mom also gets bullied. And she gets fired from her job. And the entire family is like destitute. Okay? They're destitute and they're starving. Okay? They all have like visible cheekbones as they're all starving in their house. And everyone's mad and everyone's upset. And they're like, you know what? The mom's like, you know what? We're all gonna kill ourselves. All three of us, we're all just gonna kill ourselves. We're gonna take pills.
Yeah, party's over, kids.
It's over. There's just no other solutions. So they all take pills to kill themselves, and the sister and the mom die, but Doyeon ends up throwing up the pills, and she survives, and she's like, "No, I'll get you, Remy. This is your fault and no one else's."
Yeah, it's wild that, like, okay, whatever, you have beef with Remy for whatever reason, right? It's crazy the doctor gets away scot-free from all this.
The doctor just
he's chilling.
When he's the one,
that was crazy, bro.
He's the one who has
crazy.
an active hand, and yet, like, crickets.
He's alive, bro. He's
alive. Well, wasn't stalked once. Going into work the next day, like,
yeah. So
where's
Remy brings up that point. Remy brings up that point, bro.
Remy,
he's like, yo, how was the doctor chilling? Like, yo, he did the procedure. He's like, I don't care. I'm mad at you.
So Doyeon goes on.
What we doing?
Right, and she's driven by revenge, and she becomes the social media, killer, and she kills, I guess, some of like the Remy's biggest followers. But in the final step of her plan, okay, her grand plan to destroy Remy, she transitions. She does a gender transition from a woman into a man, all for revenge. Okay, and this is where I have many questions. Right, this is the transphobia disclaimer pops up, because this is insane. Okay, this is the most insane plot line I've seen. Where she I guess she goes on the TRT, right? She takes her testosterone, and I don't know a whole lot of details about what that does to your body, but she got taller, and she got the muscular skeletal build of a man, of a full man somehow.
Full man.
And also, with what money did she do this with? Her family was so poor and destitute that they were starving, and they all killed themselves. So, with what funds did she do this transition? Also,
Nah, bro, she did it herself, bro. She just got the tools.
Yeah, she got the
said,
tools.
"Boom,
She did it
I'm gonna
herself.
Rip my arm off.
Right. I guess she
Go
also
around
did
the
like
plan.
top surgery on her
Restructure
on herself. And
Yeah.
with the power of, I guess, TRT and makeup, she not only transitions into a man, she transitions into an extremely handsome and good-looking man. Right? Which
K-pop tier.
Which creates the question.
Yeah, but it was
Right?
K-pop
Which
tier,
creates one of my big questions about this. If you could do that, with makeup from the jump, why did we go through all the surgery? if all you had to do was do your makeup right and you could just become beautiful, what's going on? What's happening here?
She's trying to prove a point. Right.
I'm just like so.
Nah, bro. You know what it is, bro? She didn't have the ability to achieve this level of innovation without the rage. The rage fueled her, gave her power. You know Anakin, bro. Like Anakin was a strong Jedi, but the rage made him stronger.
You know that
what I'm saying?
the makeup.
Like, sometimes you need rage.
The makeup's so good that it stays on in the rain. In the pouring rain, it stays on. It only comes off, I guess, with extreme heat. But Doha is Do-Yan, right? And you know, they're the same. And it's like I did this all so I could get you right here, Remy, and kill you. Not really. That's not true. That's not a true statement. He clearly did not. He's kind of freewheeling at this point. But anyways, the mutant makes an effort to save Remy, and he gets snow diffed by Doha and gets his head cut off. Gia is alive somehow, despite being despite getting her head bashed in and being in a room with nothing but dead bodies for who knows how long.
Who knows how long, bro?
Days, weeks.
That shook me up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Anyway, she helps out Remy.
Anywho's.
I mean, the story doesn't care anyways, because after this, Gia just disappears.
A little bit, bro.
So she assists Remy, and then there's the big final battle, and Remy gets Gia out of there, right? And then she's like, "No, I have to go in, and I have to do this myself." And she closes the door. Also, during this time, I think before Remy turns on Instagram Live, which allows her followers and with the police to find Remy, which is insane that the live stream would still be going. For as long as it did.
No social media moderators.
Like multiple dead bodies, active violence, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Anyways, they do their big thing, and you know, Remy and Doha's like, somehow I have feelings for you. What's this? I want to kill you, but you know, we've grown so close. And they do like, and then he sees Remy's scars because she also cut herself, right? Like he or she or they did in the past, and they have like a, you're not so different, you and I, you know, we're the same. And they have a bonding moment. And Remy's like, maybe in another lifetime we could have been friends, or something. I don't know.
And they proceed to do the Naruto handshake where they have their two fingers out and
pretty much,
you know,
pretty much. Okay, and then the police break down the door with also influencers who are also on Insta Live at the same time, and the police are like, hands up, right? And Doha,
Can I pause this for just a moment before you see what happens next? I think it's worth noting that Doha has an opportunity to kill Remy after she goes downstairs. But the mental gymnastics that the story tries to attempt here, what has fueled this character for so long in the story, no longer holds a higher level of weight than the benevolence and the what have you called it, the small bean?
Doa realized that
energy.
she's just a small bean.
Just a small bean. And we're getting to a stage where like, yo, there are corpses behind this man. This room is on fire. This is it, bro. Like, you've been building to this moment for so long. And he literally doesn't have the gall to finish the job. Like, he literally just like, I can't, I've lost the desire to kill you. Because you've had pain. You had struggle in your life. I want to do this, but I can't. Like, I almost feel for you too much. I'm like, bro, when I read that, bro, I almost was like, I got so angry.
And I love the idea that Do-yeon managed to stalk Remy and get Remy's entire backstory all this time and just never connected the dots that she also was a tragic figure. Anyways, so, you know, all this happens, and also Remy at this point ignores the fact that Doha has killed multiple people, injured her friend, killed people in front of
Even
her, innocent people, right? And she's like, "Oh no, I can I see the good in you," or something. I don't know. Anyways, it's the empathy levels are so high it freaks out the influencers. The
empathy levels.
The influencers are like, dang, she's kind of crazy, for real. And I guess the and once again the moderators should probably took this channel down. Doha gets his head blown schmoove off on Instagram Live. You know, that's a crazy. I know it's a crazy stream, bro. It's a crazy stream. So you know that all goes down, and instead of being like, "Oh, what? He's dead," Remy's like, "Oh, I feel so bad for him. Yeah, please, no. Why are you hurting him? Help him out." Da, 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 da. And everyone's like, "Dang, that's kind of wild."
Weird.
Awkward.
Anywho.
Yeah, weirdo.
Yeah, so then we get to the epilogue time, and Remy is in her hospital, and it turns out because she showed empathy for the killer, everyone on the internet hates her now. Okay, everyone hates her, which is, you know, every social media person will always inevitably have a cadre of stans. Okay, we're talking devoted followers, you know, Sardaukars, your main fighting force that will defend you no matter what you do. But I guess Remy, despite having 1 million followers, has 0 stands, because everyone on the internet's like, Remy, you need to kill yourself now, immediately. And she does. And you know what? She does.
And you know what? She does.
She does. That's the end.
That's it.
It's a real like this says a lot about society. She slits her wrists.
I'm looking
the blood trips to her phone that's in the trash.
The phone. Yeah.
And you know, so deep. I'm I'm 12 and I read this and I'm like, damn, that really that's like real life when you think about it.
That really says a lot.
It says a lot about society.
And that is
why are we doing this?
Society.
Okay. When I read this, it really affected me. And up until this point, I had no ability to make other people read it. But now, as the host of the show, I was given the power to force this upon 3 of my friends. And worth it. Completely worth it. I will psychically damage you in the future.
Never recommend this again.
It's about to be 2 of your friends now.
So
The party's over, kid.
as we've surmised, you probably surmised this webtoon is not good. Okay, but in all fairness, we're gonna do this for every single one of these, pieces of media. If you had to pick one good thing from Killstagram, what you got?
So for me, and putting the context of this scene completely aside and just focusing on like what's like on the page. When I got to like the last couple chapters, when Doyon died, I liked the part where they were showing the memories of her as Dola and being with Remy, and they're kind of just going through that. And it kind of like shows how like Remy was actually like truly like following she truly felt loved by him. It's still like the context around it is still like nuts,
Yeah,
but and it's still like nonsensical. But just take that. It's pretty good. Especially because like if you read it in the Webtoon app, there's like a soundtrack that plays during that. Oh, I thought it matched it pretty well, so I'll give it that.
Okay.
Okay,
Beto, what do you got? You said to watch bad things and to see what's good. So, Beto, what
These
are
are your words.
What are you drawing from this?
What I draw from this was actually
bro. I'm tired, crying.
I don't know what is it, but like they designed the mutant guy so scary, and well, not in the scary, but the way it's like
He's creepy.
It is creepy, and the way it's like drawn and how her
creepy pasta,
and how her escape and trying to get away. It looked nice. It looked. I guess it was great because it did look a little bit frightening, a little bit creepy. So, that's the only good thing I can think of from this whole entire book comic.
Great. You don't even like horror. What's your takeaway?
Yeah, I hate this genre so much. If there was one thing that I would say I thought they did well is they made the majority of the characters in the series scumbags, and then they tried to give you justification for why some of the main characters were scumbags. And as a reader, I think justification does give you a concept of balance in a story of like, this doesn't excuse what you've done, but it does give a little bit of weight to why we're here, right? Like how did we end up here? Like at least I have a bit of context. These characters, bro, they're really bad. Like, and I don't just mean like in the quality of the writing. Like,
okay, we're trying to say like positive.
I'm not. I know this. This is. I'm not talking about the quality of the writing. I mean they're bad as in like their behavior is sinister in nature. Their behavior is sinister in nature. And it, as I'm reading it, I'll almost like think in my brain like, who is a good person in the series, and you end up thinking about two characters that are good natured. That's it.
Yeah.
Which in a story with this many characters is absolutely bonkers. That there are only two people, the main character's best friend and one of the main character's stalkers, are the only two benevolent people in the entire story. Everyone else is like something is off. One could argue that the detective later in the story has a measure of benevolence to it, a measure. But like, it's interesting. So I will say that the story did a good job of creating a lot of characters that you look at with a raised eyebrow, which helps to drive the story pretty well. I will say that.
I will say my good takeaway from this is the chase scenes are pretty good. Okay, whenever it's like a killer, that's running around chasing Remy, I would say they're done pretty well. Right, it's pretty engaging. It's paneled decently well, and there's a lot of like tension and back and forth there that's present. Right, it keeps you interested and to see what's happening next. Right, and there's a really good, I would say maybe into its detriment, it's really good at doing cliffhangers. Right, to keep you kind of on the hook to read chapter after chapter, and that combined with like the chase sequence, and I think maybe there's too many of them, but it does a good job of like having like the main character in peril and running and like surviving, these various encounters. So that's my one thing it did good. So we got that out of the way. Now let's talk about what it did bad. And I think we've gotten into it a lot. But one thing that I would like to bring up most of all is the themes that this is trying to do. It's trying to say something. I don't think it says it well. I think it's trying to make a point about social media, but it's very inconsistent. And I don't think it really understands how social media works entirely, right? It gets some of it right, like maybe some of the bullying and some of the way that people are fickle and parasocial relationships, but it doesn't fully understand the power of a social media influencer. I think is what it doesn't. It kind of gets it, but it doesn't get it right. Like I think Remy should have more stand. Like there should be more, things going on there. And the other theme that I think it doesn't. Sure. Oh, my cats. All right. I think the other theme that it doesn't do too well is the theme of beauty and ugliness, right? And I think it's trying to say, Korean beauty standards are out of control and it's affecting people poorly. However, in this story, ugly people are, I'm going to say at the very least, inherently violent. Okay? You got to watch them. Because if you push an ugly person to the brink, who knows what they could do next? And the fact that like the two stalkers, right? Two other stalkers are insanely hideous freakazoids, right? And even Doha, who's good looking, is actually ugly, truly ugly, right? And is only pretending to be pretty. I think that's a failure of theming, in my opinion, because it is you could either have a stalker that's just good looking, conventionally good looking, or you could have people who are not conventionally good looking but are good people. But you have neither, right? You have one guy who is kind of a good person, but is also extremely mentally disturbed and inherently hideous. So I don't know what the story is trying to say with its themes.
I feel you. It's a real thing of like, I could see what you're trying to do from afar, like at a glance, you know what I mean? But when you really like look into it and you look at how like the author kind of tries to connect these themes to it, it's shaky. It's very, very shaky. And in the end, it just makes a big. The story just isn't stable enough to hold itself up. Right, but go ahead, Ray.
No, I don't want to cut you off.
That was I was gonna say, unless if I was gonna go into I guess my dislike.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Oh yeah. So I didn't really like. So if I had to like choose something, I mean, honestly, there's a lot. I think that's the story structure in itself is a big issue with me with just because I'm into a lot of thriller slash horror type media. You know what I mean? So when we got asked to review Killstagram, I already knew I'm gonna be over it. Because bad horror media to me is at least like entertaining. Even if a horror movie or a horror media is bad, it's still pretty entertaining. You know, what I mean, it's like the one genre that you could still get entertainment from if it's like done decently well. And I will say, because it's a webtoon, it's definitely a faster binge, and you could get this content a lot. It's not like you have to sit through there for multiple episodes, there are 30-hour long episodes to get through the content. But it was easier for me to get through as a webtoon, but but you see so many of the writing flaws, mainly in like the characters. For me, like I can't get over how dumb Manny is, man. Man, Lee is a real like yo. The teachers gave him extra time on test. I just know it. Because he,
Also, I'll
but I
say
think
about
my
Man
biggest
Lee.
contention.
My brother. Have you heard of moisturizer? Start there.
Yeah,
Start there.
True.
Start with moisturizing and seeing where you can go from there. Because your skin's pretty dry, man. Your skin's pretty dry. So I would say start with moisturizer, then work your way up.
Yeah, like he could have at least left like the pictures like in Remy's. He could have slid it under Remy's door, and then Remy just sees it and be like, "Oh, Doha's been chasing me all this time," or there's so much he could have done, but no, his best plan was, yeah, I'm gonna just act like a crazy person. I'm gonna chase you, break into your house. I'm a jump over rooftops to get to you. I'm a grab chainsaws. But you gotta believe me. It was all the goodness of my heart. It's all the goodness of my.
I had good intentions.
Dog, are you good? Are you good? I know you're innocent now, and even I'm still like, yo, lock this guy up. But yeah, there's a lot of like the
Oh my
motivations
gosh.
are so off in this, man. I don't, but yeah, that's my and also Doyon, but I want to take it in case someone wants to into Doyon's whole thing. But yeah,
Beto, you got anything?
Only thing I could say is just that none of these characters are ever likable. I don't care about any of these characters. None of them have felt any side kind of. My empathy was lost from any of these. Any of their decisions was just something I don't care. They did them. They all did this to themselves, and any sign of any kinds of trying to send a message is lost in whatever mindset the writer was thinking. And it didn't go well with me as the reader. I just never I never felt any kinds of, oh, I feel bad. I just felt like, oh, I feel this is already predictable. I know where this is going in the next 12 issues or chapters, and I knew what every character was going to be like. It's all so boring and unfun and completely a moronic book that hopefully I never want to look at again.
True.
All right. It's valid. What's bad? So once again, in case you haven't heard it said from echo from Bait or me or some of my co-hosts, I do not like this genre at all. This is the antithesis of the type of media I usually consume. However, I try to be objective because I'm on this podcast and I've been asked to be objective when I watch this type of stuff. I'm going to point out things that I think were really bad, and I'm going to start with the thing that I was the most irritated by. This series, the writer attempts to address extremely delicate issues. Social media driving people to take their lives is an extremely delicate issue because it's real and it happens. People post things on social media, they deal with bullying, and the bullying can drive people to take their lives, right? Unrealistic beauty standards where people are getting bullied in real life. Remove Korea from it. Like anywhere in the world, bullying exists. And it has varying levels of intensity depending on your own levels of self-esteem, what your home life is like. You could take some of that stuff really heavily, and it's a very delicate topic. And there are several delicate topics throughout the series. And what the writer does is, with all these very delicate topics, which should be moved around with like white cloth gloves and delicately placed in certain places to move the story along, he takes a giant sledgehammer and is like, let's move it like this. And it's like, there we go. You're just like, what are you doing? It's crazy. What do you mean? What are you saying that you would take something as delicate as social media bullying? And now here's the thing, right? Because I don't watch or read horror, I don't know if this is standard practice for horror stories to take delicate topics and to move them around with the sledgehammer,
Bad
so to speak,
horror
as
stories.
Bad ones. Usually they
Yes.
do talk about like social issues.
Bad thrillers, bad horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
They take
I
delicate
remember
things and
seeing
make them
a
off
Really?
them. I've never seen this before. This is like, what are you all
bro.
doing?
I remember seeing a DVD.
crazy.
I think at I forgot where I saw this DVD, like Walmart or whatever. But there was a DVD for a horror movie that was called like John Wayne Gacy versus Jeffrey Dahmer. In a a la Jason versus Freddy.
No
please
way,
editor
bro.
pull up the box art for
Oh no.
for John Wayne Gacy
Frick,
versus
bro.
Jeffrey Dahmer. This is real. Okay, this is real.
Oh boy.
Like,
That's
you almost
ridiculous.
have to like, this is ridiculous, bro. Like,
Because everyone knows John Wayne
like,
Gacy would no.
Okay, no, for powers. Okay, for power scaling, I'm sorry, Dahmer clears Gacy. Okay, Dahmer clears Gacy.
Man, Dahmer was going up against pummers.
Bro, Gacy couldn't even take out like a 15-year-old boy. Okay, a 15-year-old boy overpowered Gacy. Okay, I'm sorry, but Dahmer's going after grown men. Okay, Dahmer clears him every day of the week.
All right. Hey, I got 3 serial killers bigger than
All right, sorry. We're gonna do our serial killer power scaling.
This has gone so far off the rails.
I forgot.
Y'all took the train.
Ed Kemper on top, okay? Right, remember Ed Kemper on top, brother.
I am both disgusted and appalled with how the writers decided to handle this story. This is crazy. Like I was literally reading. I'm just like, yo, do y'all not like, yo, like this is crazy. This is crazy stuff, bro. Like, what are we talking about? These people lost their livelihood because of their reputation, drugged themselves, and she's just like, like it's the joke, a laugher montage from The Killing Joke. What's happening right now? What are we doing? What is this? What's happening? I was, like, bro, and like I said, now, we got some horror fans probably that love Pika Fiction, that watch our stuff, huge fans. I know my co-hosts enjoy horror. It's not my jam. So, like, I'm a visitor in these lands, and as I look around, I'm just reminded of why I do not like this genre. Like, bruh, you like, dog, that was crazy, man. That's for me. That for me was the worst part of the story. is they had no idea how to handle anything of value without pooping on it. They just pooped all over it. It's gross now, and I'm just like, what am I gonna do with this? So yeah, that's something that I highlighted as really bad in Killstagram. Hashtag Killstagram.
And I'll say this for all future writers out there, you might think it's a good plot point. Never ever have a character transition gender for revenge. Okay, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay, it's a free game. No,
cross dress fine, but not transition.
Don't have the transition for revenge.
It's insane, dude. It's insane, bro.
Are there any other stories that do that?
There's probably some hack stories for sure. For sure. I mean, probably like the 80s and 90s. You know, I think that would have been a.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I can see it.
All right. So I think we covered Killstagram quite well. This is only the beginning of Garbage Month, folks. Okay, so I want you to be excited. I know my co-hosts are very excited, and they will get even more excited because next week we are covering Cats 2019. It's a movie.
Good old days.
It's a
Sure.
it's a motion picture, and we are very excited. Okay, we got some special surprises lined up for you. Okay, that's keep an eye. And I will say this. In addition, please subscribe. Okay, give us a like, give us a follow. All right, spots are filling up. Okay, on this YouTube channel. All right, you do not have much time left to be the first 100 subscribers. Okay, and once that door closes, it's it. That's it. Right? I'll say the first 100 subscribers we have are special. They're more important, more dignified. Okay, they have a certain prominence. Okay, so when we have 1,000, 10,000, 1,000,000 subscribers, you'll always know they were the first 100. Okay, they are loyal Sardaukars. They are our bravest warriors.
Our D1s.
They'll see us in Valhalla. Okay, and that could be you. That could be you. I'm saying there's not a lot of spots left. So I'm saying get yours, reserve it. All right, and you will be exalted above your comrades, and you'll know you'll have that satisfaction that comes with saying, you know what, they're popular, but I knew them first. Okay, I was on that before they blew up. Okay, so please get in here, get involved. Of course, we're on other platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow us on there as well, and we will see you all next week. I would say keep seeking peak, but we're not seeking peak. We're seeking something very different. this time around.
Seeking despair.
Keep seeking despair.
Keep seeking despair, but we'll make it. We'll make it. We got Skibble Shanks, Angelical Cats, and memories to go through, and we hope to see you all then.